So, welcome to Prototype 2. Uh, I'm going to talk about Prototype 1 as well, but I just figured actual gameplay of Prototype 2. One thing I wanted to point out at the main menu here is that it's a good thing they put a recap of the first game, which is a nice thing. Very useful for anyone that needs a recap and doesn't play the first game. But they have a remastered. They have the bundle. I assume on Xbox One as well. I'm playing on PS4 of both games. If you really don't want both, I would say get two, and for reasons I'll explain. Anyway, let's go in. So right when the game loads, you're already in the game. I'm hoping it's not too loud still. Maybe it might be too loud. So this is your option screen. You can only change brightness or gamma. I'm really hoping it's not too loud. But anyways, options are whatever. So Prototype 1 was a good game for its time. These games are, I don't know what you'd call them, open world, superhero, power fantasy type thing. And for what they are, they're good games. They're actually, to me, like one of the best in terms of like these open world power fantasy games. The traversal in this game is great. The fact that he actually jumps on his own, like over things and stuff. You just control the big jumps. A change from Prototype 1 is you charge the jump before you actually jumped, and that'll determine how high you went. Whereas in 2, if you just hold X and let go, that's when you start dropping. So you can jump really low if you just tap it, or if you tap and hold, he'll jump really high. I kind of prefer the old way, but this way is easier to maneuver and jump when you want and how high you want and everything. Oh wow, that's random. Why are there zombies up here? Are these zombies or people? Oh, these are regular people. Oh, that's weird. Anyways, so apart from being a power fantasy, you have a lot of upgrades with the powers and what you can do and stuff, and how you traverse, and your dashes and your gliding and your sprint speed and your general power of everything. I love that he just mashes people out of the way while he's running. And yeah, see, like he'll just jump over stuff on his own, which I like. You just hold the trigger and run, and he goes. He just goes. It was always cool. At least I thought. You can skateboard on someone. So, traversal, great. I love traversal in this game. It's fun. I never really get tired of traversing in this game. Kind of like Infamous. I never really got tired of, just moving around the map in Infamous. Same thing with Prototype. Well, and I guess I'll start with why. Well, I guess I already started. But why I'm not playing Prototype 1 is because they're more or less the same game in terms of gameplay. 2 is just more refined, more polished. Like the dodge system and mapping a power to a square and triangle, and how traversal works and locking on and stuff. 2 is just, to me, a better game that's playable. Apart from just being a power hound and being able to just massacre and destroy. Oh, that threw him really far. I didn't mean to throw him that far. Is that you have special powers, and just like Infamous, you have special powers. Well, this game is all about like a virus infection type powers. So you get almost like Carnage in a way, but where you can actually infect people as well. So if I grab someone, and these are all zombies and stuff, and I click square for bio bomb, and I just throw them at someone, they do that, which is insane. And it's a pretty early power you get as well. And like it's just nuts. pulls cars and stuff. It's insane. You gain back health by consuming people. Well, not people, like anything actually. Like not robots and stuff, but infected people, monsters, stuff like that. That's how you get back health. And under my health bar, you see I have another bar underneath. That's kind of like your special bar. So if you're in a pinch, you can do a super move in a sense. Oh, I forgot which button it is. Oh, you get two. Oh yeah, you get two supers in this game. At some point in the story, you're able to call your own minions and let them, do their thing. How do you get more? Yeah, by consuming, right? Yeah. So the more you consume, the more you build up that bar. And you can get upgrades for your supers and stuff. And like upgrading them. But let's say you're in a pinch. You do that. Which is like a whole AoE type thing that just destroys everything it can. Oh no. Which button is it? Touchpad. So if you go into BlackNet, this is your kind of like your challenges type thing to get basically upgrades. Well, mutations, and then you take the mutations and you slot them into things. Slot them into yourself, basically. To pick what kind of powers you want. Well, not what powers, but what upgrades you want, I guess. So I have mutations here. Oh yeah, you don't slot them, you just use them. Like they're just passives. Yeah, they literally just make you stronger in pretty much every single way. So you have that. Power, skills, abilities, I believe. This is your upgrade thing for your powers and stuff. This game also, I can't. Yeah, they also have this, which I never really dealt with. Yeah, I never messed with this, but it's nice. It's a whole leaderboard type thing. But it's cool. It's something to do if you're just always into playing the game. It's a nice thing. But this is one thing I can't remember if 2 had, but 1 had. Is in 1 you could. There was the main campaign, but there was also the Web of Intrigue, which what it did was you could find like random civilians or like infected people or whatever, and if you consume them, you would get a little 30-second clip of the story or something really happening in the story. Oh wow, my monsters just killed that field op. So, and that was really cool because you could just be exploring and just find someone who's has a piece of the story within them, and just go and consume them and get a piece of story while you're just doing your own thing, wreaking havoc, exploring, whatever. It's a neat concept. Now I believe they took that out, but now it's replaced with you get powers. So like I can see someone with a strong arm icon over their head, and that means if I consume them, I'll get an upgrade for my melee strength or something. I kind of missed the Web of Intrigue. Maybe it's still in here, and I'm not far enough. I can't remember. I beat this game a long time ago on PS3. So I can't remember what happens at the end of the story. But also in the story, and this is the main two differences between Prototype 1 and 2. Prototype 1, overall good game. But the story in Prototype 1 was a lot better than Prototype 2. Prototype 2, the story is a basic revenge story with this guy who's just angry for no reason. I mean, it's for a reason, but like look at the city, man. Like, he's not the only one suffering. But and he's also a military guy, so I don't know. And yeah, at the beginning of this game, you're seeing this guy, and you're seeing how powerful I am and everything. And And yeah, spoiler, I guess. This is an old ass game, so I'm gonna spoil it anyways. In the first game, you play as Alex Mercer, who's like kind of like ground zero for the infection. And that's the whole story of if he's really Alex Mercer and what's going on with the infection. And it's a cool story. It wasn't delivered that great. Could have been better. The cutscenes were pretty bad, but the concept of the story was really cool. And by the end, I don't really remember Mercer becoming like a really bad dude. Maybe I remember it wrong, but I remember him just like coming to terms with who he was or what he was. But then two, he's in this game, he's the bad guy, and your dude just opens up with him, wanting to kill him because he's ground zero and he's responsible for the infection, killing his wife and daughter. What is I don't even remember if they say it's Alex Mercer himself or if it's just the infection like wreaking havoc around the city. So whatever. That's the beginning of this game. He sees Alex Mercer. This is the tutorial. He doesn't have any powers. I don't even remember what this guy's name is because it's so forgettable. Like he's not a memorable person. He sees Alex Mercer like jump out of a building, drop kick a helicopter. Like I swear he like gets shot by a tank and like doesn't even phase him or some shit. And this guy is like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna see all that, and I'm just gonna run up to Mercer and just try stabbing him a couple times, and that'll do something. And it's so stupid. Anyways, this guy gets murked, and Alex Mercer says, oh, I have a plan for you, and I like your tenacity or whatever, and gives him powers as well. So then you play through the story trying to figure out what exactly is going on, why he gave him powers and let him live and whatever. But I remember it being not even like that special of like why he did it and what happened and everything. When I beat it, maybe I'm wrong. I don't remember exactly, and maybe that's wrong for me to review this game because I don't remember the ending of the story. But I don't remember the ending of the story because it wasn't memorable. So anyways, like I remember the end of Infamous 2 and Infamous 1 because they were memorable. So, but anyways, so story 1 is much better, but gameplay wise, map wise, mission structure wise, powers, all that kind of stuff, traversal, except for maybe the jump. 2 is much better in pretty much every regard. I'm playing this on PS4, but for some reason, even on PS4, the game will still lag. It doesn't keep a constant frame rate. I'm playing on a Pro. It still doesn't keep a constant frame rate. It runs a lot better than it did on PS3 and stuff, but still, it's still not up to par on what it should be. But again, this is also a game that has like NPCs everywhere, like zombies and whatever, always going around. I have my creatures following me, wreaking havoc. You can pick up any car and just fucking swing it. You can just cause destruction and everything. They have the pounce out of Wolverine's origins with the claws. I guess I should show off some of the powers. So you get powers that change your hands, kind of like Carnage. So I have claws here, which I always loved. Straight out of Wolverine's origins. X-Men Origins Wolverine, sorry. You have collectibles. Like you see, I have a black box here that I can, go into a certain radius and find it. And it's literally, it's just a collectible. I think you get upgrades if you find all the black boxes in a certain area. No, here's the red light. Oops. Chief black box. Jesus Christ.
Archival recording 22 days ago.
All this mayhem and destruction. I haven't seen it this bad in months.
Well, bad depends on your perspective, doesn't it? A different world is just over the horizon, my dear, and it will be ours.
See, tiny little tidbits of information. But I like the web of intrigue more. But anyways, I hope the audio still isn't too loud. But so this game is straight up a power fantasy. The powers are cool: claws, blades, fists, tendrils, and a whip, I believe. The tendrils, I don't think were in the first one. I can't remember for sure. I don't think so. Oh, I messed that up. I meant to do it on the ground. But the powers are cool. You know, they're pretty different in how they make you fight and stuff. I keep missing. Keep missing the ground. Okay. This is why I love the fist. You can just do that. This game's just a power fantasy, like a gory power fantasy. Oh, look, another black box. Let's see what this says.
Archival recording 22 days ago.
It's not good, sir. The attacks have been getting more frequent and I can't say organized, but definitely less random.
What are you saying, Riley? They're starting to think?
I don't know yet, sir.
See, tiny little tidbits, but eventually, you know, get a decent amount of the story when you collect enough. So, another great thing about the powers in this game is, as a whatever the hell you are, I can't remember what the name of the virus is. The company is Gentech or Gen Systems or something. Is that anyone you consume, you can take their form. So above my radar, you can see I have like the Heller form on the right, which has a shutter, which shows if I'm being if someone's looking at me or not, basically, or is, you know, wary of me. And the other one, I have a little soldier helmet, which means I can turn into the soldier anytime I want. Now this is the stealth mechanic of this game, which I actually thought was a good way of doing stealth instead of, you know, making you crouch and hide behind cover and all this shit, because you're a powerhouse. So when you find not facilities, but parts of the map, where am I? I'm here. So I go up here. Okay. So there's certain parts of the map that are taken over by, like, you know, like the military, that you have to sneak into, and to sneak into them, you have to get, you know, a military form. And even when you're outside of the building, you might need a certain you know, military captain to actually get into the building and stuff. So then you gotta walk around slowly and pretend to be one of the soldiers, and, you know, consume people at a certain rate. I mean, not at a certain rate, but you know, consume the right people to get in and everything without raising the alarms and stuff. And then they put in mechanics of, you know, machines being able to detect the virus and whatever. So don't come out and check what the hell's going on. But see, like, that machine there will start going off when I get too close to it because of the virus. Because I have the virus. Yeah, like that. And if it goes off, then people start, you know, they'll start aggroing towards me. But this is the stealth version where, see, people don't, they're not attacking me because I'm the military form. But you can also, oh shit. Oh, yeah, because, anyways. But you can also, I guess I'm not going to be able to take anyone because he's just going to kill everyone. I forgot I had them there. I don't remember how to just, like, send them away. But you will have missions where you need to get into base and stuff. Oh, don't kill him, don't kill him, don't kill him, don't kill him. Oh, shit. No, he just chopped him in half. But it's cool, I never even thought of this. Just going to a base and letting your dudes do everything. That's actually amazing. So I wanted to like stealthily take over someone, but I guess it's not happening with my monster dude with me. Think I'll be able to? No, screwed that up. Oh, that was a stealth takedown. It did work. But so this is the stealth of this game, which, you know, not amazing, but still nice. You can also use weapons to, you know, keep the illusion that you are a soldier. even though you really do not need them. But the weapons do help. They are effective at taking over. Taking out other creatures and monsters and whatever that you have to fight. Where the hell did that go? I have no idea. Now, another thing you can do in this game is hijack vehicles like tanks, helicopters. I don't think any other vehicles actually. But if you're in military form, you don't even have to hijack it. You just get in. It tells you to hijack, but you just get in really, because they're not fighting you or anything. I'd say you can drive vehicles. It has an auto lock-on system. You know, tanks have a health bar and stuff. But it's a fun game. It's a game where you can just relax and just kill a bunch of shit and, you know, just do whatever. Oh, there's an upgrade. If I kill him, if I consume him, I'll get an upgrade. And as you can see, he can still mess up a tank. Oh, that almost killed him. Okay, maybe not kill him. So even with your fist, you're strong. Another hammer fist upgrade. So my fist got stronger. And yes, you can hijack helicopters. Which is insane. And then you consume people, which give you better vehicle experience and stuff. I don't remember if that's in this game, but it is in the first game. You'd actually have to hijack someone that knew how to fly a helicopter to be able to hijack a helicopter and fly it. But even without powers and stuff, you could still like this helicopter here. Oh yeah, and he has the block now too. I don't think I don't think Mercer had the block. But even with your fist. I love this game. Oh, like that. And then he got glitches like that. I can take off his rocket launcher and use it against him. And yeah, you can run with it and run up the walls and stuff, and you know, shoot it in the air. So yeah, as far as Power Fantasy games go, this is one of the best to me. It's such a fun game to just screw around in and whatever, and it has a decent story. It's not the greatest story. It's a basic revenge tale, but the powers are great. The traversal is great. The stealth system is really cool, and you know it gets better. They do make it better, and you know mix it up a bit with throwing new challenges in front of you when it comes to stealth. Combat too. I wish it was a bit more creatures like monsters to fight that did different things, but that's fine. I still like it. I still love it. I wish the game ran better. Like it's on a PS4 Pro, man. Like it should be running like 60 frames smooth. As you can see, like some parts it'll run great, and some parts it'll just start to lag. And I don't understand why. I mean, like there's a lot of things on the screen. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I feel like the port, like wow, I don't know what happened there. I feel like the port could have just been done better. But gameplay wise, this is one of the most fun games to me. This game and Infamous to me are like neck and neck pretty much. Infamous is more grounded and realistic. I shouldn't say realistic because you know you have superpowers and stuff, but it's more grounded. It's more believable in how you move and what you do and how your powers work and stuff. In this game, it's much more of an arcadey feeling. Like you can literally kill thousands in like minutes. Oh, can I do I don't remember how to do the elbow drop. Maybe I don't have it yet. I don't know. And also, this is another thing. In the first game, you just had like a roll dodge, like oh, not even like that. Like that is what I believe you had in one. In this game, when you lock onto someone and they're doing attacks and stuff, when you press X, you will actually flip over them and do a proper dodge, which I am very thankful for. It makes combat much better in this game. And like, God, I just love the havoc you can wreak in this game. It's insane. It's insane. And I love how the Bybot like changes, like actually affects the map. You see the strands. It's cool. It's really cool. like, I don't know how anyone could ever get tired of this. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Out of my way. Get out of here. But yeah, and tendrils are kind of like an enhanced version of that. So they just pull stuff from everywhere as soon as you hit someone, which is like, oh, you listen to the sounds and stuff. Like it's so out of my way, truck. It goes away eventually. The fact that they get hung by it too and stuff, and they pulled apart. Oh man, it's so cool. This game's so cool. Look at that. That's so cool. It's gruesome, but like it's really cool. Anyways, so yeah, I don't want to go too much into the story and the mission structure and stuff. The missions get pretty decent, but they're not, you know, they're not that amazingly different. You're usually, you know, killing a lot of enemies, sneaking into a base, destroying a base, finding some people, you know, maybe some time limit missions. Stuff. It's pretty standard, but it's serviceable. They're not, you know, horrible. It doesn't get extremely repetitive, and the combat and the traversal and the voice acting and everything, it all helps. You know, if you don't like Kratos and the way Kratos was in the old God of War games of, you know, being one-dimensional and stuff, you're not gonna like Heller at all. I also don't like that he has this insanely huge collar, but the hood from his hoodie just goes over it. Why not just have it attached to the back of the collar instead? But whatever, that's just me. I feel like that's a really dumb design, but okay. What do I know? But yeah, combat great, traversal great. The graphics are serviceable, but you know, in the time it was made, it has that very brown palette, so you don't get much. There isn't really any variation in terms of the environment. Like, you know, you're in a city. You're never not in the city. You do get some change with the Dead Zone, I believe it's called, where the city is just murked and really destroyed. So that's kind of different, but it's still a city, but a destroyed city. Whereas this is still like, you know, an intact city that's going into shambles. Yeah, combat, graphics, sound is good. I like the sound. I mean, could it be better? Maybe, but I think it's pretty good for what it's done. I love the traversal. Yeah, just the port itself could have been done better. And if you were to play 1 or 2, I would say play 2, just because honestly, if you want to know the story of the first game, this game has the recap. Just watch the recap, or just look it up on YouTube of the cutscenes of the first game. It wasn't really that good, but the concept was really cool. And this game, they kind of ruin it with this story. I don't think this game had a great story. Like the guy with the pastor and everything, it was all right, but I don't know, man. Heller just ain't great, and the way the story went just wasn't cool. And Alex Mercer to me was a better character as a whole, just his story. So I don't know why they changed all that. I wish they didn't, but you know, it is what it is. So, and overall, I'd give this game like I'd give it an 8. Yeah, I'd give it an 8. Maybe an 8.5. It's a fun game. It's still a game I always have on my PS4 because it's just fun to play. It's fun to mess around in. It's fun to use the powers. It's fun to run around. It's just a fun game. It's a fun power fantasy game. It's the only other game I like this other than Infamous. I've been playing Saints Row 4 and I'm getting so bored of Saints Row 4, man. It's just like, man. And I don't know why, but I just am. I'm just getting real bored of Saints Row. But that's for another video. I'll do Saints Row at another time. But yeah, see, as you can see, it's lagging here pretty bad. Then it gets smooth, and when I jump, it starts to lag, and I don't know why. Like, I'm running on a PS4 Pro, man. Like, what's the deal? Yeah, I guess the most comparable game to this right now that recently released is Spider-Man. Which Spider-Man is an amazing game. But this is just a different power fantasy type game. Like that game, you're Spider-Man. You do things like Spider-Man. You're Spider-Man. You're a hero. You know. This game is its own thing, and it's just fun to play. It's really fun to play, and you really feel powerful. And yeah, the port could have been done a lot better. Like, I want to bring it down to the 7 because like the port wasn't that well done, but it's serviceable. Like, it's decent, but it's not great. But it's not shit. It's not okay. It's good. It's decent. It's not. So the game itself, I give like an 8.5. The port, I'd give like a 7. And the first game, I'd give a 7. With what the story could have been, I'd give it like a 7.5. And but 1 also got kind of repetitive with the missions and the challenges and stuff. It got kind of repetitive, and it wasn't that long either. It didn't take me that long to beat the first game. So, and also this game, the map is bigger because you have the islands. Oh, not! I keep pressing pause. Yeah, that's my analog stick going. Because you may think it's just here, but you also have these islands that you gotta get to the helicopter pads to go to. So you start in this island. It's the yellow zone? Oh no, green zone? Oh no, yeah, you start in the green zone. Then you go to the yellow zone, and then you come to the red zone. And I believe like past here is a dead zone or something, or up here is a dead zone or some shit. So the map is a decent size. A lot of upgrades to get, a lot of collectibles to find, challenges to do. They have that RadNet thing that you could do. You know, I'm still upgrading everything. The story is decently long. 8-10 hours, I guess. Maybe a bit more, maybe less, depending on how much you screw around, the side stuff you do, all that. The map is nice. Color palette not that great, but it's a decent map. Like, you know, it's a cool looking map. You can hijack the vehicles and everything. The powers are cool. The lock-on system is nice. Yeah, the world definitely feels lived in. You know, all that stuff pulsating and everything. Like, it's a cool looking game. If it didn't have such a brown color palette, I believe this game would look even better. and maybe a better lighting system and stuff, like this game could have looked way better first time and ran more smoothly, and it would be it'd be right up there with Infamous. But like I said, Infamous is a more grounded, realistic type of game of like a power fantasy, and this is an arcade version where you just go nuts, go crazy. Oh, they don't know I'm yeah, I know. Oh no, I need the power. Give me the power. Oh no, he has the power. Okay. Look at that, I got a mutation for doing all that. So I'll be able to select one, I believe. Yeah, I can select one. Boost damage to your pack. Operate military vehicles. Devastator. Improve your throwing damage and speed. I like throwing things around, so I'll get that. So this guy's here now. Grab him? Okay, good. So I'll get another upgrade here too. Pack leader upgrade, see? So it's nice. It's nice that you get these things. And this is why I love the, oops, that wasn't the, claws. I mean, tendrils. The tendrils are nice for helicopters and stuff. Because it does that. And just pulls pretty much any object towards them. And so it does a lot of damage early on in the game. And it reaches pretty far too. Yeah, the lock on with the fighting with the lock on and the camera on helicopters and stuff, kind of hard sometimes, kind of annoying. But because of how strong you are, I kind of don't mind it. Because even if I get, really massacred, I can always just go and consume 2 people and it's fine. Like, I'm kind of mid-health. Oh, look at that, I'm already full health again. Time to go back into combat. Yeah, the rockets always lock onto you. I don't know if you can really dodge them. Can I just, like, kill you? You can't just hijack them and kill them? I guess I'd make it too easy. Or you just hijack them and just get out. But the stuff you can do and how powerful you are, I feel like this game is kind of unmatched. With how powerful you are, how open the game is with what you can do, and how destructive you can be, or and so while they're after me, I can switch, and then they don't even care because they're after Heller, not me, not this random scientist who shouldn't be here for some reason, but he's here anyways. And you can do stealth stuff. Like if I want to, I keep pressing the trigger. If I want to set up a bio bomb but have them not notice, and they don't even know what's going on. Anyways, so yeah, this Prototype 2. Story, decent, serviceable. Gameplay, great. Graphics, decent. Well, pretty good. Could have been better because of the port. I kind of blame the port because it could have been done better. Like, this isn't no CTR or Crash Bandicoot port or anything, or Shadow of the Colossus or anything. This is just a bare bones, you know, upscale to 1080p, maybe do some control setting things. Not much else. You know, game still lags and stuff. Like, port's just mediocre. But the game itself, always fun. If you're into open world, you know, superhero type game, and you don't mind playing an anti-hero, and you don't mind the gore, this to me would be a must play. It's just fun. It's just such a fun game. Yeah, it don't look that great because it was made on fucking PS3 or whatever, but it's a fun game. And I never want to get rid of a fun game. So anyways, that's Prototype. I know I didn't show Prototype 1, but Prototype 1 is literally this, but just doesn't look as good. And you're playing a different character who has a better look to him. Like, I'll just admit that. Alex Mercer just looked better. His jacket, his look, his hood. Like, Alex Mercer just looked better. He just looked way cooler. But anyways, that's Prototype. Yeah, I don't watch my analog stick. Yeah, fun game overall, man. This is one of my favorites. And the whole Carnage thing, and man, I love it. I love it. Always loved it. But yeah, first game for story, second game for everything else. Both games decent, second game better. I'd give it an 8. 8.5. Just because of how fun it is. If it had a much better story and was more polished and stuff, and maybe a bit better graphics and everything, it could be, you know, it could be a 9.5, a 10. You know, it could definitely be there. They should make a Prototype 3. They really should. It's a series that I don't think a lot of people know it or miss it, but once it comes out, people are like, oh, what the hell is this game? I can't believe I never played this. It's like, yeah, well, you know, you missed out. You missed out on one of the coolest games. Yeah. So anyways, Prototype. It's a fun game, try it out. I'd recommend it. 8.5. Prototype 2. Yeah. Make a better port of this next time, though, or something. Like, shit. This game deserves it. Both of them do. But, anyways. Prototype.